Good people, what's going on? Welcome to episode 83 of the Dawn Podcast, man. Look, back for the second time. Hopefully, there's many more to go. My guy, West Coast edition. Crook, what's good, Playboy?
What up with you, man? How you doing?
Hey, look, like we were saying off camera just now, man, we got a little snow in NC right now, man. So I'm just sitting here sipping on some nice chocolate, you know what I'm saying? And I'm getting warm, brother. How the weather out there looking?
It's good, man. I just got out of LA traffic. So, I threw on a little light jacket, you know what I mean? Cause sometimes we get that cool breeze off the ocean.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's about it though. It feel good outside, bro. I hate to tell all my East Coast family, you know what I'm saying? But
We
it
jealous.
feel it feels wonderful out there. Nice little cool breeze. You can just, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, man, I'm jealous, man, out there. You know, like I told you, I was out there last summer, and then I was just in Miami not too long ago, and it's like 80 degrees, man. We out there on the boat, 80 degrees, man. I'm like, man, this is the life. Here, I got to go back to North Carolina. It's gonna be 45 degrees, 40 degrees,
Mm.
man.
But at least y'all get seasons, man. You know what I'm saying? At least y'all get seasons, bro.
Yeah,
75% of the time here, it's the same shit. Like you woke
yeah,
up to the same day.
yeah. That's true. And I'll say this real quick about North Carolina. Man. That's one of the few states in America where we have a beach, we have beaches, we have mountains, we have the flatlands and what have you. So you get a little bit of everything in North Carolina, bro.
Yeah, bro. I was down there. I recorded some music down there.
What?
Um, yeah, I recorded some music down there. I had this joint. It's called Ashamed, and it's kind of like talking about alcoholism, my
Yeah.
my journey with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I got Ashamed Part One and Ashamed Part Two. I did both of them down there in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I
What?
recorded both of them down there.
How many years ago was that?
That was around 2016, maybe. I think that was around then.
Okay. What part of North Carolina were you in?
You know what? I can't remember, but
Oh,
it was a real nice area,
okay.
and the people, my people that I was working with, they had a
Okay.
little house, and not too far from the house there was a lake. Um, it was
So
a
that goes,
cool area. Matter of
but
fact,
it's
I
yeah.
got some homies I got some homies up here right now that's talking about um buying property down there and retiring. Where you at, brother?
Well, I tell you what, man, a lot of people are coming to North Carolina because the cost of living actually, all things considered, pretty good. Like for example, if you see a $400,000 house here, you would think you was in a damn mansion, as opposed to being, in California or in Miami or DC or New York. That $1 million house, what I'm saying, like down here, that's a castle, like literally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that. So look, man, we're gonna definitely talk about some West Coast today, man. I want to speak to you about that and a little bit of death row. And I'll tell you why I want to talk about death row. But before that, got to get the elephant out the room, man. What's your thoughts on the Super Bowl, man? Performance, man. Was it what you thought it was gonna be? I mean, it was a West Coast event, man.
Yeah, I really liked it, man, because you know, he kept it like I think that everybody who say that they love this hip hop thing, I think they should be proud of what he did up there because in the face of the president of the United States, he gave them culture. You know what I'm saying? And some people were complaining about the set list and this and
Mhm.
that, but I just felt like I felt like he did what he was supposed to do. I
Yeah,
love all the symbolism. I love that it's layers. I love that it caused a discussion, you
right.
know, that's what art is supposed to do. The discussion ain't supposed to be that was fire. The discussion is supposed to be a discourse. It's supposed to be, yo, I don't know. How did you feel about that? That I didn't
Right.
like this. I love that. I did. That's what the culture's supposed to do, bro. Like this ain't pop music. You feel me? Like I could understand if it's pop music and somebody going up there talking about 40 acres and a mule, that might look kind of out of place. I don't know, but
Right.
this is hip hop. Hip hop always been that voice, bro. You know that. So
Yeah.
for him to get on the biggest stage with the new president watching and sit up there and talk about the revolution will be televised.
Mm-hmm.
40 acres and all these cultural things that mean so much to our culture. You know what I'm saying? I never thought that I would see that. I never
Yeah.
thought I would see that in the Super Bowl. And they was jamming. The choreography was good.
Mm-hmm.
The camera angles was good. The opening with him on top of that GNX,
Now
spitting them
that
rhymes.
visual, that was dope. That visual was dope.
And I'm gonna end with this. I overall love the performance. The breath control was immaculate, and reminds me on Twitter. Some people think they know every fucking thing about writing raps, and they don't. On X, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
I told somebody that breath control is important when you're writing, and they told me I didn't know what I was talking about.
That's
But
funny, right?
you know, you can write a rap that you can't deliver live if you don't
Facts.
understand and put breath control in the process of the writing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know
if
what's
you don't
funny?
know where
Yeah.
you gonna breathe at, how you gonna
Yeah.
go over there and recite this rap? Yeah, you can get in the studio and use Pro
Mm-hmm.
Tools and punch in, and you could do all kind of studio tricks in there. But if you are writing a rap and you don't write no air pockets for you to breathe, you don't understand the art of writing rap. So breath
Right.
control is absolutely part of the writing process. And whoever that was on X, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. But anyway, his breath control was excellent,
Yeah.
man. And I give it to him for really going up there and being brave with his art.
So I'll say that much too. And I had to watch it twice. And of course, you know, I'm always down with the layers, man, and everything like that. So he went deeper than I thought he was going to go for the Super Bowl. So at first I was like, oh man, I kind of felt like he might have missed the opportunity to do his jams again, because I was on that jam thing at the moment. I was like, oh man, do your jams, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because we already know how low you can get and layers and all this stuff like that. But you know, once I looked at it again, I was kind of like, okay, I do see what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It was brave. It was really Kendrick, because I mean, we talking about somebody who did To Pimp a Butterfly. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
like I said before, I felt like To Pimp a Butterfly is this generation, it take a nation a million. So with him having that kind of spirit in him, now when I go back in retrospect, I get, you know, I see why he did it. Because at first I was like, man, hit them joints, hit them jams, man, let everybody know. Because some people don't realize how many hits that Kendrick has. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh man, you hit, do all your hits and then do your deep shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, in true artist form, you know what I'm saying, he did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? Unapologetic about it. You know what I'm saying? And to your point about the breath control, I was just talking to some people on X today about, man, you know, having the skill to perform is a major talent. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, a lot of people can write, they can deliver it, they can do it in the studio, they can do like 5 or 10 takes. You've been in the studio for decades, so you know how they go in the studio. But when you can spit that on stage like a KRS-One, rest in peace, DMX, who I was talking about today, even a Kendrick, a Buster, yourself, all these guys who really take, you know what I'm saying, the craft of performing serious, you have to come in there with that. And that's what people didn't get. Kendrick Lamar basically for 15 minutes didn't miss a beat.
Didn't miss a beat, bro. And you know, I was talking to our buddy 3. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? Shout out 3, PSA
Yeah,
Hip Hop.
shout out PSA.
And you know, he asked me about, you know, why he was doing GNX, and I said, bro, Kendrick knows about living on the charts. He knows that Good Kid, Mad City been on the charts since it dropped.
Yeah, that's crazy. A
He
lot of people don't
knows,
realize that.
yeah, he knows about a project living on the charts. In order for him to get his off with this GNX, he had to take it to the biggest stage and pull them gems out of GNX, because he knew that that was going to juice the charts. And a week later, after I said that, they said GNX sells 234,000 records. A week after I said, because I already knew what he was doing. Y'all gonna get
Calculated.
these joints. Y'all gonna get these joints. I gotta get these off on the chart level. I gotta get these off on a selling records level. I gotta make these new classics.
So
Only
you know
way I
what?
could
He
do
tricked
that.
us. So let me say that.
Yeah.
He tricked us then, because I was tricked as well. Because I'm like, you got way more hits than this. But then again, him being the person he is, he's like, you know what? I got something for y'all. And it worked. You know, he's like a
Bro.
mad scientist right now. A lot of us was wrong. I'll be the first to admit. I like, okay, when I went back and saw it again, you know, I was like, okay, I see what he's doing, but I didn't see it to that degree until you said that just now. As far as like, okay, now the charts done changed because he reintroduced GNX again to the world during Super Bowl.
Gangster.
That is pretty. So let me. Hey, and you know what? This is what I did. I did 2 different episodes where I compared GNX and his discography. But let me ask you this real quick before I go there. We spoke in December, and you was squabbled up, whacked out, mirror. I mean, you was feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So now, 3 months later, basically, man, what's your feeling on GNX right now?
I love it. Hey, I can still play it. When I go on my morning walks, I start off with Peekaboo. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I step off the porch, it's going down. You feel me? So
yeah,
I love it. I still think it has a lot of staying power. It still sounds good this many months later. I've heard other new projects that I like, but I still haven't taken GNX out of the rotation.
Gotcha.
You feel me? I listen to Larry June, 2 Chainz, and Alchemist.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I listen to, you know, a couple of them joints off the Ransom Davies shit. I listened to a couple joints on the West Side Gun with, you know, with Stove God.
Yeah.
And I still keep GNX in there. So I think it got amazing staying power. And also, man, to my West Coast artists out there, I hope y'all hear this, man. You know, we gonna retweet, we gonna do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wave right now for y'all, especially y'all younger guns. There's a wave right now. But I'm gonna be real. You got to step up to the plate, and there's a lot of artists who want to be commercially successful. If you just making your art and you don't care about being commercially successful, you just trying to make art authentic to who you are, and you're not worried about sales, I'm not talking to you. Keep doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? But for those who want commercial success, I meet them all the time. These artists that really want commercial success, there's a wave right now, but you got to come with the right thing. I'm hearing little things drop here and there, and I'm seeing some of the artists over here trying to catch that wave, but they're not dropping the right thing. So you got to go in there and really tighten up and dig deep into yourself and analyze what's going on the playing field and come with something so you can't catch that wave, man, and take off, because the wave is there. Kendrick started the wave.
Yeah. The energy is on the West right now. You know what I'm saying? The floodgates are ready to be open, like you said, man. So to your point, they got to come with it, right? Really focus on putting some dope music out, man, because the people are listening right now. You know what I'm saying? The spotlight is on the West Coast. Kendrick about to go on tour and all that. So, but back to GNX real quick. You know, someone hit me and said, man, I think GNX better than Damn, bro. And my first response back was like, man, I don't know, dog. I don't know about that, man. But you know what? I did an episode and I did track for track, Crook. And I love Damn. But man, once I started doing track for track and I broke each track down, when I got close to the end, I was starting to count, you know what I'm saying? I was like, well, wait a minute now. And so I literally had GNX a little better than Damn, bro. And I also did against Good Kid, and Good Kid won, but But Good Kid is also, to me, a generational album in terms of it's in the same boat with Ready to Die, Illmatic, all of that. That's how great Good Kid, Mad City is to me. You know what I'm saying? But great as Damn is, bro. Man.
Why not?
But GNX, I had it over Damn, man. Like, how would you compare those 2 albums, man?
Me personally, just for my personal listening, it would be GNX because I feel like Damn was more universal.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads me to the question I've been waiting to ask you. Does music need to go back to regions, just regional sounds for each and every person?
Man, you know, that's been a discussion lately. You know, and Low from Apple Music was on with me the other day, and we had a whole conversation, a segment about that, because he talked about his experience leaving Jersey, going to Howard, and then experiencing all of these people in college from all over the country. And he said, okay, listen to this Joe Budden. Somebody else like, okay, cool, listen to Bun B. You feel me? So it's like, I do think, Crook, that it's important for each region to have their sound so they can bring into their world. You know what I'm saying? Like me being in North Carolina, it was a big deal when I heard the Chronicle. We're gonna get to Death Row in a minute. Just like it was a big deal when I'm going down to Senior Beach Week when Outkast selling Playalistic drop, and I'm like, oh, this how Atlanta feel. You know what I'm saying? So then when I end up going to hang out in Atlanta for the million, doing the Million Man March, some of my homies went up to DC. I went down to Atlanta because I was in school and that's my ride at the time the cars broke down. But nevertheless, I get to Atlanta and I'm like, oh, that's Decatur, that's College Park, that's so and so right there. That's what Big Boy was talking about right there. That's what Andre was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Or when and same way when Good Amount Soul Food came out, I'm like, oh, that's what CeeLo was talking about. So I think it's very, very just like when Jay-Z telling you about Marcy. He took us to Marcy. Nas took us to Queensbridge. So I think it's vital for if you're in the West, sound like the West. That's why I'm so proud of Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like you're on the West, sound like the West. You in Texas, sound like Texas. I want you to have that bass. I want you to chop and screw it. You know what I'm saying? If you in New York, give me the boom bap, dog. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very important, man, because each region has a voice. And each region's supposed to be able to express themselves and not feel like, yo, I gotta you know what I'm saying, sound like somebody else to get a look. Or just like, back in the day, you had to get accepted at maybe Hot 97 or some New York radio station. Well, that's not the case at this point. You can go show your love, but you don't have to rap like somebody from Brooklyn to get love. It's like somebody from Brooklyn don't have to rap like somebody from Atlanta. You shouldn't have to, man.
Right. And I love what you said. Everything you said is 100% on point. Here's the thing. The new generation is the internet generation. And social media and the internet made everything one big pot of gumbo.
Right.
So I could reach over here and get some trap jumps.
Oh, yeah.
I could reach over here to the boom bap and throw a sample on.
Okay,
gotcha. A lot of these younger cats, they weren't around to experience super regional hip hop. So to them, this melting pot is what hip hop is. In their mind, this melting pot is what it is. We all under one umbrella. We use each other's slang. Somebody that ain't from Florida calling saying, when I was a jit, somebody who ain't from New York saying dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff is stirred up. So I think a lot of the new generation, when they do decide to get regional with their sound, they're gonna have to go back and study, and then they're gonna have to reinvent what that sound is. Yeah. You feel me? Because it's kind of like, that's why I like GNX so much, because we started off on some boom bap hip hop and R&B type rap beats. That we used to do those type of beats, and then we moved to the G-Funk era, and the G-Funk era lasted a long time, and then it went away, and everything started to sound like whatever radio station in the world had the hottest playlist, hottest rap playlist, and the most listeners. All the mainstream stuff started sounding like each other, and then this new GNX is the new West Coast sound. Really, GNX is, he just made it mainstream. So these youngsters over here got busy and decided, okay, we're not doing G-Funk, this is what we doing. Right. And it became what it is. So it's gonna be interesting, my brother. But I do think it's important to preserve certain regional culture, because I do want to go to North Carolina. I do want to go to Atlanta. I do want to go and play Q-Tip while I'm in New York and be on the Boulevard of Linden. Right. You feel me? Right. So yeah, I love it. I love it, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you that because I've been seeing that conversation bubbling, and I feel everything you said.
Yeah, man. And what people need to understand, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more authentic when you do sound like where you're from. I mean, I understand people get influenced. I know
Right.
there's going to be certain great artists in every region who's going to influence a lot of people all over the country and all over the world. That's perfectly fine. You can take a little piece of that, and they've all done that. You know what I'm saying? Outkast's favorite, Andre and Big Boy said their favorite rap group coming through the early 90s was Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they was influenced some, but they still created a southern sound. I mean, Southern playlists don't sound like People Instinctive Travels. You know what I'm saying? So same
Nothing
way
like
with
it.
right, same way Q-Tip and Dr. Dre both influence each other, and they talked about that before. But the Midnight Marauders don't sound like Doggy Style. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. If I'm on the West Coast, I want to feel the vibe. If I'm walking down Hollywood, I want to hear somebody drive by with MC8 on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? If I'm
Yeah.
in Florida, I want to hear Luke. Straight up.
That's what's so beautiful about the culture.
The region is supposed. My only problem when it comes to region is if you feel all right. So where you're born, you're gonna like that music more because music is part of the culture where you stay at. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you're gonna like it more. If I'm in Queens, I'm gonna like the way Havoc and Prodigy do their thing probably more than A-Ball MJG. That's no knock on nobody because the people down in Mississippi and Memphis and all that, it's gonna be the same thing with them. It's
Yeah.
just it's my only problem with any kind of thing region based is if you think that your region is superior because you vibe to it more. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean all regions. Look, people love E40 in Oakland the same way people love Biggie in Brooklyn, bro. You know what I'm saying? So there's no best when it comes to best regions. It's what relates to you and the culture, the slang, how you dress, how you drive your car. That's your region, and you should have pride in it. But I'm not gonna say, hey, South better than the West because that's all subjective. Same with the
Yeah.
MCs.
That right there is just people trying to win arguments and people trying to and people who are being, outward, they're proud to be biased. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I see that all the time. I even had homies like that. Like they'll hear some boom bap come on and be like, come on, man, come on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they want to hear some gangster rap, some G funk on there. That's what they want to hear. So I get that. But
Right.
when we step into the realm of discussing hip hop and breaking down the culture, you can't be like that. You know what I'm saying?
And I see it
Because
all the time.
all the time, and I'm telling you, to our counterparts on the east and everywhere, and even on the west, whoever's doing it, we see y'all.
Facts.
We see y'all.
And they hate when they
And
get
what
called
y'all are
out.
doing ain't right.
They hate when they get called out, Crook. That's my whole thing. I'm like, look, that's why I've been talking about regional hip hop a lot lately, the last few weeks, because I think it's important to get back to that conversation, you know what I'm saying, and give everybody their shine. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, nobody's superior to the other. It's all about perspective where you're from. And you can say I like my region better because that's what I relate to. But that doesn't mean there's nobody else
Right.
dope in there's dope MCs in every region. And lyricism is not the same in no region. It's all different. People portray their rhymes,
Yes.
write their rhymes different, but that don't mean look, MCH story about growing up in Compton is just as dope as a Nas story growing up in Queens. They just deliver differently.
They delivered them different, and it can hit you this on the same, it can have the same impact.
That's my point.
They deliver them different. Now I know how, you know, they're gonna say, well, Nas is more technical. So then we start to dissecting technical abilities when storytelling. Then that's when the conversation goes into, as far as feeling and impact, they could be the same. The only time I step into that conversation is you got some people who could play I Ain't Mad at You by Tupac
Mm-hmm.
on the piano, and then you got some people who could sit behind them and play Beethoven.
Right.
And that's a different level. You feel me? And the person that can play Beethoven, because my god brother Jim Giddum very gifted piano player.
Right.
When he sit down and play I Ain't Mad at You, just the fact that he knows classical, he knows all of every genre, he can add things in there that somebody without his classical training,
Right.
they don't know how to add that. You feel me? Because they don't have that ability. So I will say on the lyricism level, if you have more technical, not the subjective stuff, just I am objectively more skilled
Right.
at whatever y'all call rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Breath control, syllables, punchlines, metaphors, storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I might not make a song that y'all like better than MC8's. I might not do that because as a fan, listening is
Yeah.
subjective.
Yeah.
But creating is objective because I'm putting in the skills that I learned, whether that be to play the keyboard, use my voice to sing and hit the correct notes.
Mm-hmm.
A singer could come out and hit some bad notes and still sell 10 million records because it's subjective to the buyer and to the listener. But to the actual singer, to the writer and the creator, it's a lot of objectivity there. It's a lot of skill there.
Yep.
It's a different set of rules for the ones actually writing it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know you out of pocket right there. We know
gotcha.
you're supposed to go up with your vocal tone, then down on the downbeat. We
Okay.
know you put too many words in that bar, and that's why the swing is off. Like it's too many. It's all type of stuff that we know. So when we hear it, it's hard for us to listen subjectively sometimes because we're listening with a writer's ear, and we're like, "Yo,
right.
Why the hell didn't he just put one word? If he would have just put a one-syllable word right there, his last bar would have hit the snare perfectly on the top."
Gotcha.
But
that's the technical ability
that
you talking
dude
about.
who wrote that, he didn't know that. Feel me, Tony? So he didn't know
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
that's a skill he needs to learn. And once you teach it to him, they go out and that's how they learn too from ghostwriting. Once you ghostwrite for people, they pick up how you did. Okay, boom, and it increases their skill. And
So
then
let
we
me ask
go
you
on
this.
as listeners to say, this dude getting better over the years.
Needless to say, you've done some ghostwriting in your career.
Yes, sir.
And
thank God. Thank God.
Got some good meals off of that, baby.
Hey, man, I got to pay a couple of bills. You know what I'm saying, bro?
But that's no doubt. But look, it also goes to your point. Also, I just put a post out earlier today about, and you'll feel me on this. You know, just because someone is technically more skilled, that don't guarantee that they make great songs or great albums compared to someone who will be. Why somebody might say this particular person right here is pretty much like maybe an average lyricist, whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? Not highly skilled with vocabulary, but damn, if that dude don't always come through with dope songs and dope albums, he don't miss. Now, I'm not going to name anyone, but there's certain guys who they don't have this extensive vocabulary, but I'll tell you what, they don't miss when they put a project out.
Yeah, they don't, because that's not the bar. The bar ain't who's the most technical.
Thank you.
That's not where the bar is set.
Say it again.
The bar is set who makes the best music.
Yeah.
To the fans.
Yeah.
The bar is not like, if this was basketball, you wouldn't want that dude down here on the court. You would want the most technical skilled dude on the court. That's what you would want. But this ain't basketball. Facts. This is rap music and this is songwriting, and the bar is set to who can make people feel something the most.
So listen to this.
Who
Facts.
Who resonates the most?
So yesterday I did a episode about, and it was called "Can T.I. Get Top 25 Consideration?" And the reason why I did that was because I was riding to his album Paper Trails the other day, and I was like, damn, man, that's like, and I was getting 56 bars, right? And then I'm Illy and all that. I'm like, you know, it took me back to all of the hits that T.I. has, right? And then his album tracks, he really, really rapping. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, T.I. got the stage presence. He got the deep songs, he got the street bangers, got the club bangers. I said he got the voice cadence, multiple flows. I saw him on LA Lakers, man, back in the other year, and I'm like, man, Tip really one of them guys, man. Like his discography, making apples like trap music and Urban Legend and King. And I said, dog, you can look at his total package and say he doesn't leave anything on the table, man. Dudes are all right. But that's my point. Like, you don't look at T.I. as like this super crazy metaphors and all this 1,000 bars and all that. But when he can make songs, he's a songwriter who is lyrical in his own right.
Man, T.I. is a lyricist.
Yes.
T.I. is a lyricist, bro. There was times when he got on joints with the hottest people in the game and stood out.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? He's a lyricist. Like T.I., he's a lyricist. And it's all about what do you choose? Yeah. What is your target when you come into the game? You know, what is your target? I think that a lot of people, they might feel like everybody got the same target, but they don't.
No.
Somebody might come in the game. Take me, for instance. In my era, you get kicked out the booth if you couldn't rap. You know what I'm saying?
Like literally, right?
So literally, they like, nah, come up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, come up out of there. One of my goals early on, when I started really before I stepped on the field, when I was just super underground, was to be one of the best at rapping. Because I wanted, an old man told me, if you're the best at something, you can get out of here. And he meant this hood that you walking around,
right,
and all this environment. If you the best at something, so go be the best at something. So that was my goal. That was my target. My target wasn't, I want to make classic albums. That wasn't my target when I got in. My target was, I'm gonna be the best rapper. Ain't nobody gonna be able to rap better than me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that target took me on my journey. Then I had a homie whose target was, I wanna get the party cracking.
Right.
And that target took him on his journey. So I want the fans and the listeners to understand that some people got different targets.
Yeah.
And when you say, man, you should be more successful, and this dude got 20 party hits, he like, I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or, man, hey, Crook, man, you should be, blah, blah. I appreciate it, but a lot of people know I'm one of the best to put words together. And that's what I started off. I started off writing poetry in first grade.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it was all about the love of words for me.
Your goal was to be a lyricist.
That was my goal.
Right.
To be a lyricist. That was my goal.
And you know what's funny, Crook? Go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead, finish up.
I was gonna say, until I got to the labels and certain errors came in where being a lyricist wasn't super cool in the majors.
Right.
That's the only time I start looking at other targets, because I was like, well, you gotta adapt, you gotta change, you gotta figure out how you're gonna stay relevant, how you're gonna stay alive in the game. And I said, well, what if I just write them kind of records for other people?
Right.
And then I just stay on my lane. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're the best of both worlds.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was it, bro. That was my shit. And yo, some heartache comes with that, because you're in love with something that sometimes don't love you back.
Well, I tell you what,
in love with this.
Yeah. Ooh,
you in love with it, and sometimes it don't love you back. And it's real trippy, man, because when I got to Slaughterhouse, when I got to Death Row, everything in me that I learned in the streets came out in the music.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That was just the energy. It wasn't like nobody asked me to do that or nothing. But when you pull up into the gate,
right,
and you see 30 Damus,
right,
with pit bulls and lowriders and all type of everything else, you start getting into that. Well,
energy is real.
I'm comfortable with this energy. I grew up on the east side of Long Beach. I'm comfortable with this too. That's what we doing. Let's do it. Turn the mic on.
And you're gonna be more aggressive with your rhymes.
you're gonna be more aggressive with your rhymes. So by the time I got to Slaughterhouse, it was a whole different thing to where it was more of a lyricist thing than it was street tales.
Right.
You feel me? So I went from my crowds when I was doing solo shows before I got to Slaughterhouse was gang members, suburban kids,
Yep.
and strippers. That was all in my crowd. You
That's
know what I'm
hilarious.
saying? Chicks was dropping it like it was hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm up
Right.
there spitting my shit, and that's what it was. And then when I got to Slaughterhouse, it turned into a crowd full of people who love lyricism.
So that
And I
energy changed
noticed that
into a tribe. Right. Right.
you know
So
what I'm
that,
saying? I
so
noticed
that
that.
energy shifted to we writing as hard as we can.
Yeah, the energy shifted to competitive rap. You know what
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying. Y'all
Yeah,
was trying
it
to
just
beat each other
shifted.
up, man.
Yeah, because it was like you're not finna cut my head off. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
And that
mean?
made sense.
So
And it made sense when you think about between you, Royce, Joe, and Cricket. I mean, I'm saying Cricket, Joel. I'm sorry. That makes sense because all of y'all individually hell of a rappers and really and lyrical. Each one of you guys are lyrical. So coming together is like, yeah, y'all just gonna try to outbar each other. I'm sure.
yeah, that's
So
what.
look,
And then we said, hey guys, what if we start writing some songs? Like just write songs about shit. You know
right,
what I'm saying? And about life.
yeah,
And when we start writing them songs, I thought these is fire. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Because we took the competitiveness into the storytelling.
right.
And I just thought that was a double threat.
Y'all has underrated stories, man. Just real quick. So I think that people slept on that because all you guys can rap so much. Sometimes when you're such a dope rapper, some people miss some of the details and the stories because y'all had some passionate joints. A lot of y'all rapped about family and growing up and pain and all that. But sometimes with lyricists, you can kind of rap over people's head. And maybe certain people missed a lot of jewels that y'all were doing at the time. I caught them, but some people miss jewels sometimes. I don't want to say too lyrical, but sometimes you can be too lyrical. Not you, but I'm just saying in general. You know what
In
I'm saying?
general,
You can lose
you
all.
got to know when to step on the gas pedal and be lyrical and step off of it and coast and then step back on it and then step off of it. So one 16 bar rap could be talking to 4 different audiences. Like, yo, I'm talking to them on this 4 bars. On these 4 bars, I'm talking to them. On these 4, I'm talking to you MCs. Y'all can't fuck with me. And on the last 4, I'm talking to, you know what I mean? And it's like,
And it's all
it's
of it.
fun.
All that's important.
It's important, man. It's fun too. And it's like, you know, Slaughterhouse was an anomaly at that time because
Yeah.
we sat at the Grammys in the front row. I sat, you know what I'm saying, next to Kim Kardashian as a lyricist.
Right.
And that was camera seats. So if you go to the Grammys, not everybody get camera seats. That's the
Not at
people
all.
they gonna show. Not everybody get those. They only get those to the so-called special people.
Right.
And there goes Slaughterhouse sitting right there chilling. You feel me?
You
Because
you
we
can
was
say
making that kind of impact
y'all was
on some
true to y'all.
lyricists.
Y'all was true to y'allself as lyricists, and you sitting there in this diverse environment without compromising your rhymes.
without compromising the rhymes, bro. And that was the beauty of that. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about it, man.
And so look, man. So what happened is about 2 weeks ago, someone hit me like, "Yo, man, TDE is the greatest label on the West Coast." And so this ain't the diss or to compare. I just say, okay, look, I respect those guys. I say, but make sure you understand the history of West Coast hip hop and the history of the labels in the West Coast. And I said, after Ruthless, you gotta look at Death Row as the catalyst for where West Coast hip hop is right now. I said the family tree of Death Row make for me the greatest, right? And that's no knock because when you look at the aftermath under that tree, and then with Dr. Dre and doing, I guess, some kind of joint venture with TDE and all that, and endorsing Kendrick, everybody from the tree of Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, what else? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a dude on TikTok where he just be like, It's like that's it.
And
You
that's
know
what
what I mean?
that's what I'm trying to explain to this guy. But let me say this real quick too. It's funny, and look at the history of death row. Like it's February of Black History Month, right? So they started death row in February of 1992, right? And then Snoop ended up buying from that, and then Snoop ended up buying from that group in February 2022. You know what I'm saying? And now it's February 2025, and I'm like, man, all this correlation and stuff. I said, me and Crook gotta do a death row episode, man. Talk about just it's just so much, to talk about, man. But I was trying to tell that person, I said, it's no knock on TD. TD has done an amazing job of help carrying the torch for not just the West Coast, but obviously at the time with Kendrick leading them with hip hop as well. You know what I'm saying? But Death Row, man, let me ask you this, man. I'm gonna go back to the beginning, close to the beginning. When Deep Cover came out, what was your initial thoughts, man, when you heard Deep Cover, man? After NWA is gone and then they had the Straight Outta Compton, the Niggas for Life, the DOC album, the whole breakup, Easy is, everybody did what they did. When you heard Deep Cover, what was your thoughts?
My first thought was, do that nigga got a Long Beach hat on? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up. Is that who I think it is? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we didn't have nobody on the big stage representing the city like that, really. We had some people that, did fairly well, but we didn't have nobody with Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So to see somebody representing Long Beach with Dr. Dre kind of blew my mind.
Had you ever seen Snoop before at that time?
I seen Snoop, but I didn't know who he was.
Gotcha.
I met Snoop when he was working on I think the Chronic.
Oh, okay, so you met him way back then.
I wasn't too far away, but I met when he was working on the Chronic. So, I was blown away. And then I could feel it. Boo, boo, boo. That beat.
Goodness, man.
I said, and it was so different than an NWA beat. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Crazy.
And then they was talking about 187 on a cop.
Right.
They made a jam out of saying some of the most nefarious shit you can say. You know
Listen,
what I'm saying?
For real.
I was like, yo, and they got away with it, of course, because it's for a movie. And that's what the movie was talking about, police and things like that. And the way they was gliding on them beats together, I said, this duo is crazy right here. Whoever it is, this is crazy. So I was totally blown away. I moved. I had to leave the city and go to the East Coast. I was a teenager. I went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Damn.
And that shit was rocking out there.
Hell yeah, it was.
And they all called me Cali. So we would go to the basketball courts and battle. And I'd be like, throw on the Deep Cover instrumental. You know what I'm saying? And go for mine. And it'd be Harrisburg and Philly dudes. And Philly dudes aggressive.
Right.
So I kind of credit that for part of my aggression because I was the underdog every single time because I was from Cali. Lyrically, I was the underdog. So I had to step it up. But Deep Cover really, 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 really just hit the game like a nuclear bomb. I remember the Predator being out, not around that time. Q doing his thing.
Q was doing his thing because, I think didn't America's Most come out like 90, and then 91 was I think the Death Certificate.
Yeah, 91
so
was
and so after that
shit.
So you're right. So so you're right though, because that would have been after Kill It Will. Was it Lethal Injection?
The Predator. What was the Predator? That was on
Predator might be 92 around the same time Deep Cover.
92,
that might be
93, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, man. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. And then I was like, Dr. Dre is unfuckwittable.
We thought the same thing, Crook. I was in North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina. When Deep Cover came out, everybody here, you'd have thought this was Long Beach or Compton out here too, because they played Deep Cover everywhere. When people got a car, people was getting that soundtrack just for that song. You know what I'm saying?
I love them days.
People thought that was the man. That beat to this day, that's still one of the hardest beats in hip hop history.
Yes, to this day. I swear to God, bro.
And then you saw what Joe and Big Pun did to that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't say people like don't touch the classics. If I don't agree with that.
If you're gonna do like that, you can.
If you're gonna do it like they did it, you can touch it. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Because just think if R&B and soul singers and jazz musicians told hip hop don't touch the classics.
Then you talking about genres of music, damn, they're not even surviving.
Bro, all these classic hip hop albums,
they don't exist.
What would they sound like? We don't know what they would sound like because half of them is all samples of classics that came before them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So then how am I gonna turn around and tell a young kid don't touch the classics? But that's exactly what Pete Rock was doing.
Yeah, you gotta just do it justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't throw something together.
You gotta do it justice.
You gotta do it.
You got it. You gotta do it justice.
So man, I was when I was in the debate about Death Row, man, I was just looking at the iconic albums, man. Like, you'd be hard pressed to see too many labels. I'm looking right now. You talking about the Chronic, man, Doggy Style. You know what I'm saying? Machiavelli, All Eyes on Me, Above the Rim soundtrack, Murder Was the Case. You know what I'm saying? Like the Dog Food album.
Dog Pound.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you have to look at that from about 92 to 96 till Pac died, man. Like, those 4 years, I've never seen nothing like it in terms of like a label putting out that kind of music from that many different artists, man. I just hadn't seen nothing like it.
In 4 years. 4 years.
4 years. But you know what's sad though, man? It leaves a lot to be desired to me because Death Row, has so much potential to go on for 5-6 more years, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think, like, and you was in the mix, man. Like, you over there. I'm just a bystander on the East Coast, but when you start looking at, the outside influences, man, the lifestyle, the gang culture, just the affiliations with different people and entities and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you could have distanced some of that stuff, Death Row could have been one of the most powerful labels in music, period, for an extended period of time.
Absolutely. For 4 years straight, foot on the neck. For 4 years straight, bro. Like, somebody said the Chronic didn't age well.
Oh my God! Listen, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I get tired of these guys, bro.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God, man. I don't even know where to start because I read some crap like that, man, about a year ago, and I just went slam off on him. I said, bro, I'm gonna need you to do your hip hop knowledge. Yeah. What do you mean? I said, but you know what's funny? When I hear this age well crap, it's like music is a time clock. So it's supposed to sound like, if you hear something futuristic like Timbaland in 1997 with Missy, then so be it. But music as a whole sounds like when it came out. What's going on sound like 1971, 72, as it's supposed to. So
man.
songs sound like the era they came in. You know what I'm saying? So the Chronic revolutionized it with that G-Funk. But what do you mean it didn't age well? It's still one of the best albums ever.
Yeah, dog. That album is so cold. I'll be on YouTube searching for the Chronic instrumentals just to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because that shit is cold, man. That Dr. Dre, what he was putting together with his collective producers, whoever was doing what, his ear is immaculate, bro.
You can go put on Lil Ghetto Boy. You can go put on Lil Ghetto Boy right now. Anybody listening or will be listening to this, you go on YouTube or go and put it in your car. If you put in a little ghetto boy right now and listen to that, you tell me how that aged. Beautifully, how it aged. The Chronic aged
Beautifully,
beautifully.
bro.
It's one of the cleanest sounding albums you'll hear. The engineering
Man,
is flawless.
listen to G Thing get back to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they was flexing. And you know what I liked about it? Gangsta rap was, you know, that was the terminology and that was the so-called fuel that the marketing of the album, you know, and how people received it. But they was MCing on there, bro.
It's absolutely MCing.
That was MCing, man. And even when Snoop says showing much flex when it come to ripping the mic, like that's an MC statement. I'm flexing when I rip this mic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That don't have nothing to do with shooting somebody or selling some drugs. That's talking about I'm MCing. You feel me? So I think a lot of people skip over that. And
It was MCing all over the Chronic.
oh my God,
It was
was it? It was it's some classic posse cuts on there. You know what I'm saying?
facts. It just same way it was a bunch of MCing on a doggy style album. I mean, Lady of Rage, man, like I said last time, man, like dope voice, dope lyrics, aggression, everything. Everybody was corrupt. These cats was rhyming on that doggy style album too. And
They was rhyming. They
and the
was
beats on
rhyming
that
on
joint
there,
crazy.
bro. The thing I think Snoop was able to do, he was the perfect storm to me. He was the perfect storm because one, let's go with his name, Snoop Doggy Dogg. And you say Snoop, and he looked like a Doman Pincher kind of. That's why
Yep.
they made his face morph into that. It was a perfect match. It was easy to digest to the public who are brand new to his brand. Snoop, he looks like a dog. Where does Snoop come from? Peanuts game,
Yep.
Snoopy, something
Yep.
I'm familiar with. It
Yep.
was a lot of familiarity right there. Then gangster rap was known as something aggressive, put fear in people when they heard it. He took it to a level of fresh,
It was smooth.
flavorful, smooth, easier to digest. He repackaged just by being himself. He repackaged gangster rap and made
Oh,
it something more commercialized. You feel me?
yeah, I do.
Like
Yeah, I never looked at it
this
like
was
that.
a gangster rapper. This is a gangster rapper that my mom can get into because the because of the overall package. She knows
Yeah.
Snoop. She thinks his name is funny.
Yep.
She she knows, you know, what he's saying because he not. It ain't like he's speed rapping like crazy.
Right.
She the delivery of it is very smooth and he's hitting different pockets and he's just grooving. It's a
He's easy
groove.
on the ears. He's easy to listen to.
Easy on the ear. So he was the perfect guy. He was the perfect guy because I saw other people, and I'm not gonna name them,
Right, right,
but I
right.
saw other people who were having success in the gangster rap field, and they would say, "Well, why come I can't have Snoop Dogg success?" And then they would try to simplify their gangster raps and try to come off like a Snoop, but they didn't have the total package. You see what I'm saying? And they didn't understand that he was on time. Sometimes you're ahead of your time, sometimes you're behind the times. He was
Yeah.
right on time. And
Yeah.
the package is what took gangster rap, so-called, to a whole nother universe.
You know, it's crazy because that's just one of those moments in times, man. It was lightning in the bottle. Like you said, it was lightning in the bottle. You couldn't ask for a better situation from having deep cover with him being so anticipated, moving into the Chronic, which ended up being the biggest album at that time, and then surpassing the Chronic in terms of commercial success with Doggy Style. He was the biggest artist in the entire world. It was just a lightning in a bottle. You can't duplicate Snoop.
You can't duplicate him. And I know people say, well, you know, what about this guy in the streaming era? Yeah, these guys are very successful. But they got to understand that us people who are a little older, we
Mm-hmm.
remember when Snoop dropped And nationwide, the lines at the record store with real human beings standing in those lines,
For
wrapped
hours.
around the corner to buy an album, that's a different kind of influence than just picking up your phone and streaming something. You feel
Oh,
me? That don't
and you
take a
know,
lot of effort.
and look, and also during that same time, you had people boycotting and taking cars and trucks and riding over them over the albums. You know what I'm saying? Over Doggy
Yeah.
Style when that was Calvin
So
Butts,
the haters had to have effort and the love supporters had to use effort.
and then it was
And I'm
political.
telling you, dog, I talk about get up, get dressed, get on the bus,
Yeah,
go down to the record store, stand in the line for hours for a CD.
yeah,
That is a lot. And
it
for
was
to
an
have those
experience.
people do that worldwide, it was a crazy time. And he hit the game like an asteroid, man. And he also, a lot of our so-called gangster rappers, I say so-called gangster rap because I also know that that was a term that they slapped on it to try to degrade what we was doing in the culture. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Because you said it was reality
But
rap before that.
yeah, but as for let's just talk in the scope of gangster rap,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to, a lot of the raps, DJ Quick, MC8, NWA, a lot of the Ice-T, a lot of the gangster rappers that came before him, you knew what hood they was from, what gang set they was from, based on hints and clues in the music. Snoop was one of the first ones to come out and say, I'm from Rolling 20 East Side Long Beach Crip.
Mm.
No guessing, no hints. I'll be on this street, I'll be on that street. You sitting there like, wait a minute, he said this street, that street. Oh, that nigga from this hood. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? It was none
yeah.
of that. It was straight up, I'm a Rolling 20 Crip. And he threw it up on camera in the source. He was really, really one of the first dudes to bring the straight name of your hood to the world through music.
And people started doing it after him. A lot of people
They
started doing
sure
that.
did. They did. Just like I say, Pac opened the door to speaking about things that we used to be ashamed of as a community. And he was an open book. And he said, hey, man, my mom was on drugs at a certain point in time.
Call his
You
mama a
know what I'm
crack
saying?
fiend. Called his mama a crack fiend on the song, bro.
On a song.
People
That
sleep
was
on that.
that was unheard of. You would hide that and push that away in the closet. He said
Absolutely.
that, which opened the door for Eminem to say, my mom was a drug addict on pills.
Facts.
So that's why we have to give the respect and to the people who open up doors. Now, I'm not saying the door Snoop opened was a positive door.
I know what you
It
mean.
was
Yeah,
just
I get it.
it was just reflective of his life.
Yeah, it's a
He was
door.
being
It's a door,
authentic.
nevertheless. It's a door, nevertheless.
Right. You know
You
what
get
I'm
this.
saying?
Now, let me say a little side note. You said some Eminem real quick, and I know somebody will find something wrong with what I'm about to say. But to your point about Eminem, he had some of that Tupac energy and spirit of Tupac in him, as far as being vulnerable, being able to express himself like that, and that's why a lot of fans, they rock with him because they resonate with the honesty in his rhymes, and Pop was the same way. And I think people sleep on Eminem when it comes to that. I just wanted to get that out the way because I always felt that.
Absolutely. That's the truth.
Thank you. I
100%.
always felt that. So now, staying with Death Row, man. What was your thoughts when you first heard Dog Food, man?
Man, when I first heard Dog Food, I was like, that New York, New York.
Yeah, man.
I said, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. You know what I'm saying?
And you saw the
These
video
was,
too, right?
yeah. Then I
It was
saw
like,
that
oh,
video because when I first heard it, I was like, I heard this beat on the St. Ives commercial. The beat, I believe Biggie rapped on the beat on the St. Ives commercial or something like that.
you might be right.
Burnout, I think DJ Pooh has something to do with that. And I said, I heard this beat before a little bit, a version of it.
Right.
And then when I heard the song anyway, I can't remember if it was a Big, rest in peace, or who. I believe Big, but anyway, that boy came on there, said the night I served 2,000 MCs. Now
MCs.
kicking over the buildings. The night I served 2,000 MCs. You know, like, whoa. Like,
yeah.
the whole imagery, the
Yeah.
low rider in Times Square. You know what I'm saying?
I knew something was up when I
The
saw
buildings
that.
getting kicked over. I think a lot of times over here, and I be having to tell dudes, because I go to the East a lot, and I have in my life, I be having to tell dudes, they not hating on us. It's not the people.
Mm-hmm.
When you see these talking heads and podcasters or DJs at radio stations, when you see them hating on West Coast music,
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's the entire city.
Right.
Don't think that's the whole New York, because it's easy for people who don't go over there
Yep.
to feel like New York don't fuck with us
Mm-hmm.
because of the people who represent New York. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like when they was over there kicking over buildings and all that, I feel like they was kind of, it's just like when Snoop said y'all don't got no love for Snoop Dogg at the
Yeah.
Source Award.
Right.
That's a constant question to West Coast artists. Does New York fuck with us on a real genuine level?
Right.
Because they're like the big brother of hip hop.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like, that's all, that energy only goes away when you start seeing more East and West collabs, and you start seeing they talking heads give it up for certain projects.
Yeah.
But then it always come back because somebody will say Kendrick is garbage.
Right.
Somebody with a big platform. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And we all know, you could say his music ain't for me, but to say he garbage, you feel a hint of hate.
Yeah, because
You don't.
it's like, because then you feel like, also, I think you're being intellectually dishonest, man. And you know, I fight those. I fight those narratives all the time with different platforms, whoever. If I feel like somebody said something ain't genuine, I'm like, yo, because I don't say nothing for clicks, bro. I say how I really need to be said. And it's like, look, come on, man. Like one of my tweets earlier today, I retweeted. I said, you don't have to like an MC to admit they have talent.
That part. That whole part. You know what I'm saying?
It's on my page right now. Everything I said, I got receipts.
Yeah, bro. So people over here, you know, they keep
Come
their
on,
ears
man.
out for that. And another reason why I believe it's easy for the West to turn that switch on and be like, they ain't fucking with us, fuck them.
Yeah.
Is because we grew up to their shit and supported their shit and
Right.
bought their shit and went to their concerts and listened to them on the radio and
Right.
requested their songs and hung their posters on the fucking wall.
And then
We
you
did
gonna try to
all that.
diss.
We did all that.
You did
So
all that, and then somebody say something slick, and it's like, we supported y'all, and then once we get hot, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, that now our shit is whack, but we supported y'all.
That part.
It was the same thing I said today also when I was like, you know, Nas my favorite MC, but you know, when he put out Hip Hop Is Dead, that was the reason he was really, when he came back and explained it, he was really mad at New York hip hop not being authentic, But
right.
when he said it, that's when Young Jesus on the radio station with Moaning Love and all them, like, you know, really upset with Nas. And of course, you know, I think a lot of other people from the South was upset about anybody saying, hey, okay, now New York ain't popping, the South popping, and now all of a sudden hip hop dead and shit. And that's why a lot of people down here got real pissed off about that, even though that wasn't Nas' intention. Like to your point just now, people on the West Coast and down South, yo, we supporting y'all up there, y'all. We doing all this. As soon as we popping in the West, we popping down South. Now something going on with hip hop. Hip hop ain't dope.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you don't think that's bias, that's BS, man.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. That's some real bull, because dog, you gotta really, like you said, man, that's now that we got the ball, you know, and some people to this day will say the South ruined hip hop.
Right.
To this day, bro.
So
and
yeah,
to me, it's like
it's an insult.
Scarface did what?
Yeah, Outkast did what? Scarface did
Outkast
what?
did what?
T.I., Ludacris, A-Ball, MJG. All they real hip hop. Good 'em up.
What?
What really?
Yeah, bro. So you got them kind of characters, and unfortunately, some of those characters end up with big platforms.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta always put the real out there. You know, sometimes I mute them platforms because I get tired of it, but at the same time, we gotta make sure that we put that out there with the same energy they put out there. The
Yeah.
South enhanced everything about hip hop because
Oh no.
as
Some
a
people don't
cult,
want to hear that.
yo, they better do the history because where was the most black people at?
Where everybody from?
Especially in history, when before all these different migrations. I I know my motherfucking roots end up in the South. I'm from the
Listen, bro,
West Coast.
it's facts.
My
These
roots
ain't
end up in the South.
these aren't some things in life, just like some things in music, aren't just opinions. Some things there are facts in music, like there are facts in life. You know what I'm saying? And one fact is blacks migrated all over the country. Everybody from the South.
From the South, bro. Like,
Initially, everybody,
man, our great grandmothers, South.
all our music, gospel, culture, country, rock, everything from jazz, everything, and it migrated. These are facts. I know people don't want to hear that. So the spirit of
And
hip hop,
all those things play a big part in hip hop. All those things play a big role in hip hop. And that's why I say it like that. You feel me? Because those things in particular play a role. You know what I mean? Whether that be James Brown, you feel
from
me,
South
doing his
Carolina,
thing. You feel me?
right? Whatever.
James Brown doing his thing and influencing somebody to use them drums, or even to use the word rapping when he said, I could dig rapping. You
Come
feel
on,
me?
man. Yeah.
Let's talk about, so it's like, yo, let's stop all the tripping. We bumped East Coast music, dog. You would have thought EPMD was from Long Beach,
Right.
period.
Same
You know
down,
what I'm
same down
saying?
here.
And down in the South, when the Ghetto Boys drop, we got a Southern NWA now. We like, man, they like it, man. What? Listen to
Yeah.
these boys. After you're playing WA, say, all right, now listen to these boys.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they telling us they whole life story and experiences in an unapologetic way, just like NWA was. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we show so much love, man, that we don't want no hate.
And so let me say this, and I agree 100%. And for people who gonna hear this, what me and Crooked said, everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in Atlanta, Chicago, you know what I'm saying, the West Coast, Florida, New York, also they deserve the benefit of the doubt as well. Every region deserves love and respect. You don't have to like the music to respect it. I can say, hey, I might not like a certain sound in hip hop, but let me respect it. That's their sound. That's their city or where they're from. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, nobody's the authority on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop is like music migrates like everything else in life. And so my thing is always respect it's different cultures within hip hop. Because I remember Most Def Black on Both Sides when he said, people ask me what's going on with hip hop. Well, that's what's going on with us. You know what I'm saying? As black people. So, but black people live different in every region.
Yeah, so the white
So the music
people and
reflect
all
that.
of, and the Mexican people and everybody else who's involved
Yeah,
with hip
facts.
hop now,
Facts. All of them. All of them.
they all live different lives and cultures, and we want to hear about it in a dope way. That's all we asking. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you
So let
know,
me ask you this, man. Since we still on the region of the West and Death Row, what was your thoughts when you first found out that Tupac was coming to Death Row?
I thought it was all over. I said, "Uh-oh," because I heard that Suge had sent him a bulletproof vest in the mail after he got shot with a Death Row logo on it. And
I ain't
I
never
said,
heard that
"Uh-oh."
before.
Yeah. And
That's
I don't know how
wild.
true it is, but
Right.
that's what everybody was saying.
Okay.
And I was like, oh. because I was a Tupac fan. Like
Right.
when he from same song to now. When he was on same song, I liked his syllable rapping.
Yeah.
He was rhyming more than cat and hat.
Yeah.
Come around, underground, all this stuff.
Yeah, he
You
was
know what I'm saying? He
robbing.
was giving it up, and I liked his style. And I said, and you know, so I was like, yo, this
Then he
dude
came.
is coming out of the Bay with a
Yeah.
dashiki on.
Then he came out
That
with that
made
damn
me,
trapped and all that, Brenda and trapped and all that with my
oh
homies
man,
squad.
listen, bro, on Tupacalypse now, when he did that soldier story,
Yeah, it's hard.
I was like, I was like, this nigga is he said I could still hear my mother shout, hit the pen, nigga, and break your bigger brother out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is some revolutionary shit. He talking about breaking his brother out the penitentiary. As a young person,
Yeah.
how do you talk about something like that? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo,
When we
this
heard he was
dude is
coming,
crazy.
when we heard he was
So when
coming
I
to
heard he
death
was
row,
going to death row, I was like,
yeah.
yo, they already got Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, they got Nate Dogg singing on hooks, they got Rage, they got Dog Pound. They finna add Tupac to the roster.
And
Oh
what
my God.
and when DJ Quick doing some engineering and stuff like that.
Yeah, DJ Quick coming in and out. It's like, this is about to be nasty. And lo and behold, he came out with that energy. He came out with that energy, bro. Like when he did
All eyes on me was
Ambitious as a
nuts.
Rider, I
Yeah.
said, oh shit.
That set the tone for the double CD and set the tone for him being at death row. It was all that in one.
All that in one. And when they did Gangster Party, I was
Him and
like,
Snoop.
yeah, because you know, Snoop was the homie by then, and I was a big fan of Snoop.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, Pac's energy is different on this joint.
Did you get a chance to meet Pop?
Yes, sir.
How was that,
Yes,
man?
sir. And it was you know, when I first, because he had got, shot, and they said he got shot in the head too. Um, this was early on. Matter of fact, Gangsta Party was that was the instrumental they was bumping when I came in the studio with my homie Big C Style and my homie Randog, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
When we walked into the studio, Gangsta Party instrumental was up. We was at Larrabee North, a studio called Larrabee North.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is that
I
is that is
walked
that
in.
LA? Is that LA?
That's in LA. And I
Okay.
walked in and I seen Tupac at the SSL board, at the mixing board. I said, oh shit, because I'm a young teenager.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm looking at my favorite rapper down there, number one, number
Yeah.
two. It was like Rakim and Tupac at
Right.
that point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's Pac. What's happening? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's going
Yeah.
on, man? What's up, man? I'm Crook, man. Blah, 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 blah. We talked, woo, woo, woo. He focused, zoned in, trying to get his raps on. I sat down and they started doing the St. Ives commercial.
Oh, okay.
And I just sat and watched
Mm.
because I was one of them. I want to soak up game. I sat and I watched and I seen how he laid his vocals. I seen how Snoop laid his vocals. I watched how he communicated with the engineer.
Oh.
I watched how he stacked his vocals. I was just watching and learning. You
Let
know
me
what
ask
I'm
you a question.
saying?
Let me ask you a question quick on that. Was John? Did you ever meet the guy? Was it Johnny J or something like that? Who's producing some of All
Yeah, I
Eyes
met
on Me?
Johnny J. I met Johnny
Okay.
J too.
Okay.
I met Johnny J sent I was on Virgin Records and he sent the beat pack over. And How Do You Want It instrumental was in the beat pack he sent to me.
What?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Do how it was just a beat. And I was like, nah, I don't want that beat. And then about a year later, Tupac made it a smash. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
said,
you was young and didn't realize it.
yeah, and then I said, you know what? I wouldn't have wrote that song to that anyway. You know what I mean? So it was meant to go to Pac. You feel
Yeah.
me? Because I wouldn't have wrote that song. And you know. But yeah, I met Johnny J. Rest in peace to him before he passed. You feel me? Another
So,
underrated producer that does
yeah,
not get his props.
he was dope.
He don't get his props. He matched Tupac's emotion
Yeah,
with the music choices that he was making.
yeah, he
You know what
did.
I'm saying? He made an excellent sound bed for Tupac's emotional delivery. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, that was crazy, man. When he went to Death Row and I heard him on what really made me feel like he on Death Row is when I heard You Can't See Me.
Oh man, that's track one on this too.
Yes, bro. The
That's
the
that
the
Snoop
G Funk
joint. That
keyboards,
yeah,
the
he.
G Funk keyboards, and the George Clinton.
Ooh. And you
I
know what? He
said,
was
this man
rhyming
is
on that
on
song
Death
too.
Row Records now. You know what I'm saying?
And he was
I
rhyming
never
hard
heard
on
him
that
rap on
song.
nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, yeah, he on the road now. You know what I'm saying? And it
yeah,
was niggas can't see me. That song is so
yeah,
cold, bro.
yeah.
That whole album,
Man,
crazy.
both discs, man. I like that hard to find joint. Was it Richard E40 and all them on there, man?
And we ain't hard to
Yeah,
find.
hard to find.
Yo,
And look, and 40 versus dope on that too.
bro. And that was the only thing I was waiting on Kendrick to do, bro. Because in my mind, when you're on the top of the game, the real way to be the king is to unite the
Yeah,
coast. To be the
yeah,
king of the West Coast,
yeah,
I feel you gotta kind of unite it. And that's what he did on GNX and the Pop Out.
yeah.
And that's what Tupac did on All Eyes on Me.
So,
He
yeah,
had dudes from the Bay and dudes down here in LA
yep.
all together on one project. And people might not know, but there's a hidden divide between the Bay and LA.
No, I didn't know that.
There's a hidden divide. It's not a beef, it's not a
Mhm.
problem, it's none of that. But the Bay is its own world, and Southern California is its own world.
Mm.
And it's not like until recently. First of all, the Bay never gets props for nothing. They bring all the kind of slang to the table. They bring all
Mm.
type of classics music to the table, and they don't get their props on the world stage like they supposed to.
Gotcha.
And LA get all its props.
Mm.
So, you know, for Pac to bring that together, to have Richie Rich and Be Legit and D Shot and all those kind of dudes
Yeah,
up there, and have the Dog Pound, and you know what I'm saying? These LA guys, I was like, that's what kings do. They
yep.
unite the coast.
And he even and the dog pound even gave. You can correct me if I'm wrong. They gave him that mind made up. You know, what I'm saying, with red and meth on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that was the reason for the dog pound. I think somebody said, and
yeah, that's what I
Lady,
heard too. I don't
yeah,
know, but that's what I heard too.
yeah, they said Lady Rage and Inspector Deck had verses
Inspector
on
Deck
there.
was on. Yeah.
But nevertheless, like you
Shout out
said,
to
man.
Deck. Hey Deck, when you gonna put that joint out I got with you?
Oh, so wait a minute now. So you got an unreleased track with Inspector Deck.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about that.
Too late now. Tell Deck we need it. You need to I don't know if he on Twitter or not, but you need to tag him, like, look, let's get this song out here, man.
Let's get it, Deck.
So look, man, during that whole time period, of course, man, unfortunately, we know all the issues with Bad Boy and stuff like that, man. But when that Hit 'Em Up came out, man, what was that energy like, man? What was you thinking when you heard that Hit 'Em Up? Like, man, we got a problem?
When I heard Hit 'Em Up, man, that shit was like, yo, he is angry. You know what I'm saying? Um, he couldn't do much wrong back then because we was heavy on the Death Row sound.
Yeah,
And if you was already a Pac fan, then you was just even more of a fan when he hit the row. So by the time Hit 'Em Up dropped, we was like, yeah, that's what's up, because we didn't know what was to come. You know what I mean? We didn't know
yeah,
that would end up, being a song that's associated with the death of two great artists. We didn't know that. We just
yeah,
was, you know, but when we heard it, we was like, yo, this is I was like, yo, this dude is going off right now. He talk about Lil Kim and Lil C's, and he
Yeah.
don't even care. And then the video. So I was talking to the man, and I wish I could share these pictures. I'm gonna have to ask him. I was talking to a couple months ago. I was talking to the director of that video.
Word?
Word, man. And he texted me some pictures that never been out before, behind the scenes pictures from that shoot.
Oh.
You don't know how my trigger finger was itching to post some of them pictures. You know what I'm
Right, right,
saying?
right,
Like,
right, right, right.
that's history right there. You know
For
what I'm
real.
saying?
And nobody has seen it. People, the average person ain't never gonna see those.
Yo, bro. But it just took me right back. And I knew the beef was cracking. I was like, this rap beef is on another level with this kind of song, you know, especially how he started it. That's why I fucked your what?
Yeah. When we heard
Like,
that, man, it
man,
was like,
he ain't playing out here, bro. He really don't like them dudes. And he really
yeah,
think
that's like,
they had something to do with him being set up. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? He
Yeah,
really felt that.
it made a lot of people really feel like, man, well, what's really going on? Why this dude really that mad? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's deeper than rap now.
It's deeper than rap now. You know what I mean?
But
And
man,
and
Lee,
and, and it's
yeah,
crazy that song is still one of his most streamed songs.
it is crazy, man. The leading on up to Machiavelli, which I felt like when I think about the song Against All Odds, and then him, you know, him already being passed, that was to me, that was the end of that era. We know there's another era of Death Row, but that was the end of that era of Death Row with Machiavelli to me, man.
Man, Machiavelli sounded like he knew his time was limited on Earth.
Mm.
When I heard Machiavelli, I heard the energy of a man who felt like his day was coming any day now. When he said death around the corner on Me Against the World,
Yeah,
death came a little closer. It was across the street when he
man,
was making Machiavelli.
man,
And I felt that sense of urgency. It's really muddy. Vocally, some of the backgrounds is off. They not even
yeah.
on time with each other.
Quick
It's
said the
really
same thing. DJ
it's
Quick said the
really
same thing.
it's really rushed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get this off. It's people that want to see me dead. I'm in the trenches. I gotta get this off. And when I listen to the music, I listen to White Man's World.
Yeah, it's deep, man.
I think that's number 8 or 9. I can't remember which one it is.
It's around that part of the album.
But when I was shopping in the mall, and it was about 5 Asian kids behind me. And it was like, you heard that new Machiavelli? They was talking to each other.
Yeah.
And they said the best song on there is number 9.
Mm.
And I went back home and I looked at number 9, and I think it was The White Man's World.
It's a deep song, man.
So it resonated to a lot of different people. And even my white homie in the city, that's one of his favorite songs on the Machiavelli album.
Right.
So, you know, what he was saying, bro, on Blasphemy,
Whew.
you know what I mean?
Man.
You know,
He put it
which
all
one of them
together.
songs? Ain't that what he said? God coming, she just taking her time.
I think that's the one,
You
Blasphemy.
know, it's like what he was putting together. It was aggressive, politically driven poetry, and he had many shades. He had, you know, the woman. He
Yep.
gonna talk to the females. He gonna talk to the thugs. He gonna talk to the conscious community. You know, but that's how it is when you growing up and you're getting all this different information from all these different people in your life, whether it's
Yeah.
street people or it's activists or whoever. It's gonna come out in the music.
And it did.
And Machiavelli is just, because if you listen to All Eyes on Me, it's very polished. You could tell
It
Dr. Dre
is.
was in the building.
Yeah.
Every song, every sound, every hi-hat, every snare is crispy. And then you go
Crispy.
listen to Machiavelli and
It's
it's
dirty.
dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is dirty.
And it's still top tier. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's dirty.
Man, it
Hail
really
Mary.
it was, man. So that whole era for me of Death Row, that legendary run, I felt like it's that era stopped with Machiavelli, man. But a couple of years later, man, and of course we know Rage and other people, Sam Snead, all of them, they had work on Death Row also, man. But you came into the picture at some point, man. Like, how did that happen, man? Didn't at some point you officially sign with Death Row or affiliated?
In the 1900s. 1999.
1999.
1999, and I was there to 2004. And you know,
now you had like 2 unreleased albums. You finished when you was there, didn't you?
yeah, I finished a gang of music. I had mixtapes, albums.
Damn.
I overseen the soundtrack to Eddie Griffin, Dysfunctional Family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That came out, but when I went over there, I took all the lessons that I learned from afar, watching everybody else who came to Death Row before me.
Uh-huh.
And that kind of laid the foundation of how I should move as the new representative of the label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And working with the same people that Pac was working with, engineers, studio managers.
Yeah.
You know, his energy was in the room. The work ethic was very high because Pac had a high work ethic.
Right.
You know what I mean? He'll go in one room and lay a song and tell the engineer mix that, and then go in another room while he mixes and lay another song and tell that engineer mix that one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had to make sure that I could do something similar because I ain't gonna be the new guy come drop the ball. And you know, they gave me opportunities. And when I had the chance to get my single off on Dysfunctional Family, bro, they was like, why don't you make a song for the radio for the girls? And I was like, nah. I went in
Right.
there talking about I'm dark as Marcus Garvey on my
Right.
rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because just like Kendrick wanting to get on a big stage and keep it trill to the culture, that's how I felt being on Death Row. I'm gonna keep it real with the culture of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? People said that was something that wasn't a good move for me. Like, yo, you should have just made this and that. Nah, dog. We gonna keep it authentic every time. But it was a real, like, if you watched a trilogy called Death Row Records,
Mm-hmm.
and the first movie was about the beginning all the way up to the dog pound, and the second movie was like the dog pound all the way to Machiavelli.
Okay.
And the third movie was me until it was a wrap.
Right.
That third movie is gonna have more action and drama, and you gonna think it's a John Wick movie or something. Because when all that stuff was going on with Death Row, the world was watching because they was making hits.
Mm.
In my era, double the amount of shit was happening,
Wow.
but it wasn't no hits,
So the
so
eyes
nobody was
was so
watching.
nobody was watching.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
So it was a crazy time. And a lot of the people in the industry said, we do not want to see Suge Knight successful ever again.
Mm.
So that made it to where it was hard for him to operate. And if it's hard for him to operate, that's going to trickle down to the label being able to operate.
Mm.
And therefore, you get what you get. But again, from the Chronic to Machiavelli,
Yep.
musically,
Mm.
is one of the most unmatched runs in the history of hip hop.
You'll be hard pressed to find 4 years with that type of music and impact from one label for
Hard
4 years.
pressed, bro. Hard press. And then, like you say, the tree. The tree.
Oh my God.
And I talked to Dre about this because Dre, I went to go see Dre after they made the movie Compton, Straight Outta Compton.
Yep.
It didn't come out yet. and he was showing me some of the audition reels that actors were doing. And I said, hey man, do you ever trip off of the tree? Just
Mm.
the tree of Dr. Dre, Easy E, rest in peace.
Right.
The Ruthless Records tree, which you were like the head producer,
Yeah.
going into Death Row, going into Aftermath, sprouting out into 50 Cent and Eminem and TDE, and he said, man, we was gonna put a tree in the movie at the end. We was gonna do a digital graphic of the tree. He said, but we didn't do it. And I was like, dog, that would have been really dope because a lot of people might not really know or care, but that is very that's what you call influential. When you
Right.
can, I'm on the Dr. Dre tree.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I was on Shady Aftermath.
That's right.
I was on Death Row Records. That's the Dr. Dre tree.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. So it's like all these people are on this tree, and he just turned 60 yesterday. Shout out Dr. Dre.
Right.
Um, yeah, bro, it's really deep, man, and the roots run deep. And you know, like you said, man, a couple different decisions, and we might be having a whole nother conversation about that label.
That is true, man. And leading up to right now, like currently, like so with the road right now with Snoop doing it. Now ain't the Dog Pound back on there again, and they got D Smoke and October London and all, they all recording under the road, right?
I know the East Siders put out something. I know
Yeah.
D Smoke, I think, was supposed to put something out. I think Mercules up in Canada was supposed to put something out. October London is very successful.
Yeah, he's had like 2 albums already through
Yeah,
the label.
yeah, he done won Grammys and shit.
Yeah, that Marvin Gaye joint he did was insane.
Yeah, he done. So he's very successful. I don't know if the Dog Pound as a group is there, but all
Yeah,
I was waiting on that Missionary album was one line from Snoop saying how he owns the team he used to play for.
mm.
Because that's full circle 360 degrees right
It
there.
really is. It's amazing when you think about it. From a young kid, on deep cover to becoming the biggest rapper in the world to leaving the death row for different reasons that we've heard about, whatever, to actually coming back at some point in his life and saying it's mine now.
Crazy. That
I
shit is
mean,
crazy.
that's one of the craziest stories in hip hop.
That's crazy, bro. Like, that's like Michael Jordan coming back and buying the Bulls. You know what I'm saying?
It is, right?
So, you know, it's crazy. So, man, that whole situation is forever in the fabric of hip hop, is in the fabric of
Forever.
pop culture.
It really is, man.
It's never gonna be removed. I think that we should have a chat like this one time about Ruthless Records because they was very important.
Oh yeah, we can do. Hey, that's next up, brother. I'm
Mhm.
gonna make a note of that
Yeah, bro.
because
Because
I think that need to be, because that's a tree. That's the and really to really talk about Easy E, man, and what he means to hip hop culture, and also, man, give us Bone Thug some love too, man. So I'm down with that, Crook, man. But look, man, right now I saw a couple of tweets a couple of weeks ago. I know you got some things going on. You share it, man. But please, man, like what's going on right now with you and some of them ventures, man? Some of the stuff you got going on.
well, we got this show called Beats and Bars,
Yeah, that's right.
and we just go. It's a hip hop competition reality show. We start filming March 1st. We go into 10 cities. First up is the Bay Area. Um, I think we come into one of the Carolinas too.
Man,
And
you gotta let me know if y'all come to North Carolina.
yeah, heck yeah. And dog, we just going around because the thing about it is you could complain about the state of mainstream rap music, or you could try to give some people some platforms
Yep,
and give them a boost up. Some
yep.
people that you feel are talented and carry the torch. Um, that so we just got busy. Like, let's go out here and let's find some of these talented people,
Yeah.
producers and rappers, and
Okay.
let's give them some shine and put them on TV and let's see what they got. So we doing that. We start that March 1st.
Word. That's dope.
And then other than that, I'm just on the business side chilling. Uh,
I know you still be mentoring, like really hollering at young folks who in getting in the industry and trying to get them some jewels and stuff. I know I've seen you do that.
yes, sir. My young homie Sholo, he put out a project called I think it's the Blue Tape or what the Beetle. No, the Scribe Tape or something like that. And I helped him put it together. Scarab Tape. I'm tripping. The Scarab Tape.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Scarab Tape because he played Blue Beetle in
Right.
the DC movie. He was Blue Beetle, and he also plays Miguel on Cobra Kai.
Okay. Okay.
And his mother is the homegirl. She used to be one of the co-hosts on the world famous Wake Up Show with Sway and King Tech
Okay.
back in the '90s when we was getting it. So that's the young homie. He said, "Hey man, I want you to help me put a project together," and I helped him put a project together, and then I also helped him secure, a label distribution for the project.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just having fun. He don't care. He not trying to be a famous rapper.
Right.
He love rap music because that's what he grew up in his household. His mom
Right.
was on one of the best hip hop shows in history.
Right.
And mentoring, him and other young cats, and some people who want record deals. I don't know why, but there's still people who want, what I mean, record deals. So they bring me in to consult their project
Right.
to help them, become ready for that deal and to understand the things that it takes as far as, getting your numbers up, because that's what they want now. They don't care how talented you
No,
are.
they don't care.
Now they want to know, okay, what's your sound cloud numbers, what's your YouTube numbers, how many social media followers you got, what's
Yeah.
your TikTok following like these are all the things. They look at the analytics
Yeah.
before they even care about the music. And that's the thing that bothers me. But um, you know, I help these people and then I help indies too, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's different ways to get paid in rap music, my brother. And unfortunately, the average artist don't know it. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They think that they put out a song and they get a royalty for one thing. No, there's 60 ways to get paid off one song.
Mm.
You have to start dealing in global licensing and things of that nature. But there's many ways to get paid on one song, and if you don't know that, somebody getting that money if you're not
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So they bring me in, and I consult, and I try to mentor these young kids. Some stuff is free, some stuff come with a price tag,
Right. Right. Right.
and we try to push this culture forward, because if you notice, man, all the guys is doing a great job out here. Somebody from the culture put them under their wing first.
Right.
You might think that these suits is getting all the credit for these smash hit rappers, but when you think about it, it takes a Jay-Z to put J. Cole under his wing,
Yeah.
because Jay-Z understands J. Cole. The dude in the suit that's just looking at numbers and analytics, he don't understand J. Cole.
No.
He understands what J. Cole can do numerically or whatever, but he don't understand J. Cole. So it takes a Dr. Dre to look at a TDE and say, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He gonna see what somebody else don't see.
Yeah, and it takes a Jay Prince and a Birdman to look at Drake and say, okay. So
Yeah.
people of the culture are the ones who have to open the door for the next, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Man, that's just the dopest thing, man. Well, look, brother, we gotta get together on that Ruthless Records. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's just some more West Coast conversation, because I still think that's still missing on a lot of platforms. To be honest with you, You know,
Yes.
of course, people gonna talk about Kendrick. He's the most popular guy right now with Drake. But when it comes to the essence of West Coast, I don't see a lot. Now, me and my guy Vague, shout out to Vague. We have a joint called That Time in Hip Hop, what we've done since 2017. But we've talked about Spice One and E40 and and Souls of Mischief and all this stuff like that. But I want to dig back into some of those conversations too, because there's a lot of great artists from the West that's just not talked about anymore, man. Farside and all these guys, man, and I want to give them their flowers as well, man, as best I can.
Yo,
So,
Farside, come on, man. Can't keep running away. That's
man,
it's crazy, man. And Sick With It Records, E40 getting the first $1 million independent deal.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much to discuss that people, a lot of people just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they don't know.
So we're gonna do that, man. So we're gonna set that up, man. But episode 83. Appreciate it, my guy Crook. We out of here.
Brother.
Peace.